Welcome back from the ad break. You are still watching Prime Live. Now we are joined this evening by Esther Padi, the national organizer of the Union Against Hunger. Now we are going to be discussing the persistent hunger crisis in South Africa despite the nation's constitutional guarantees to food and basic nutrition. Now with World Hunger Day upon us, the UAH is mobilizing communities to demand their right to food and hold government and industry accountable. Esther shares crucial insights from ground, and she will be highlighting the daily struggles that are faced by farm workers and the heartbreaking effects of malnutrition on our children in South Africa. Thank you so much for joining us on Prime Life, and welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, and good evening to your viewers.
Thank you so much. Now tell us about the importance of highlighting this day, World Hunger Day.
I think the importance of highlighting this day is basically helping us finally to put a spotlight on the disconnect of the promises made from our constitution and the reality that people really suffer on the ground. We are having a number of about 20 million people now who are experiencing hunger in this country, and I think we need to now start to step up as community members and see how we come together and create demands that we will really share with government and take this issue into our own hands. And I know that even yourself, you know someone who is experiencing hunger every day. It has become a norm in this country that people don't eat 3 meals a day. It has become a norm in this country that if you don't work, if you don't have an employment status, you are most likely to die or live with hunger. So as the Union Against Hunger, we are saying enough is enough. We need to come together as communities and start this from the ground up, actually, where communities who are really experiencing this issue to come up, create platforms for them so that they can share their experiences and voice out, and more than important, to voice out their way forward in terms of what needs to be done to fix the issue of hunger in this country.
And do you think showing importance to a day like this, World Hunger Day, is or can help in contributing to, curbing the, starvation that's happening in South Africa? Do you think it will have any effect?
I think it will. If you can, we can go back into the HIV days, when the AIDS Day was the day that we started to commemorate the day. I think it created a lot of awareness, and people started to understand what it means to live with a stigma and all of those kind of things. So we are saying this must not just be like any other day that passes by. World Hunger Day must mean something, because people are hungry every day. We have young kids dying of malnutrition. I mean, three infants die every day of malnutrition. So the issue of hunger is not even just about me and you sitting here with an empty stomach. It also affects unborn children and affect their future as they grow. So it's just a lot that needs to be solved. So we really need to put a spotlight on this day.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And given we do know that in South Africa there are structural inequalities that are happening, do you think that the economic the difference between the demographics in South Africa, the inequalities that people are experiencing in terms of our economy, we have different groups in terms of the tax brackets and who earns this and that, do you think those are the type of things that are contributing to food insecurity in South Africa?
Yeah, I can say that, but let me not change your question. I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think South Africa, as we all know, it's one of the most, or if not the only or number one in the world where we are experiencing a serious inequality. And for me, is now beyond even equality, because we are now at about 60%, if I'm not mistaken, of people who are unemployed. And I did state that we cannot afford to have a job status or an employment status to guarantee you a plate of food. So what we are saying is that yes, we agree, inequality is causing a whole lot of issues. And I guess we also need to break it down in a sense that we have a child-headed homes. their circumstances are completely different. So they are in an area where we can call it if you call it with your, if you categorize it in classes, they are at the lowest class. And on top of that, a pandemic, they now are childhood at home, or it's homes that are led by women, because women are the face of this hunger issue. Women are the face of poverty, especially black and colored women, and as we go. So they are the faces of hunger in this country, or poverty, if we want to put it that way. So inequality it needs to be solved, because it also come across or cut across every kind of social issue that we are experiencing in this country. That's why I kind of wanted to challenge your question to say, we know that inequality is just messing things up, but now hunger needs to be repositioned in another format, because it's an agent thing that needs to be solved now. I know we have been speaking about inequality for a long time now, but our policies and government are not taking us where we need to get to.
I want us to talk about a little bit more about the inequality part,
Sure.
right? When we speak about inequality, exactly what are we referring to? Because someone would argue to say every person is given like a fair chance in South Africa to say, this is the system, this is what you have to go through. It's not only to a certain demographic in terms of job seeking, it's the same process for everybody else. So
Yeah.
when we speak about inequality, what exactly are we talking about?
And I'm going to challenge that again.
Yes.
And because I want to share it with my own understanding,
Yes,
so
that's
that
what we
people
want.
can understand
Yes.
the effects of hunger on the ground. So you know that we have children who are experiencing or stunting, right? So every child, yes, is given a fair chance, or every individual in this country is given a fair chance to take themselves somewhere in life.
Yeah.
But let's speak about a child who had a parent who did not have information, or is living in a low poverty line, the low poverty line in terms of their income. And then we expect that person to eat nutritious food, be able to take care of themselves, and also take care of an unborn baby. We can't blame the unborn baby for a fair chance, because already their lives and their future is disrupted completely, because the process of the parent being pregnant in the first 1,000 days are crucial for a child. And if maybe people were not aware, those children who are experiencing stunting or malnutrition, they end up losing most of their valuable, maybe not, I don't know which term to use, but their growth becomes completely different from a child who had been given a proper nutrition for the first 1,000 years. 1,000 days. So you can imagine how then we measure the life and the future of a child like that. So as I'm speaking to you, we have almost 10,000 children dying every year, annually, from acute malnutrition. So those are the issues that we want to rechannel this issue of inequality to, because it always has been generalized, as you are saying, yes, everybody has a fair chance, but go to communities. People are trying their best to be the best they can be, but sometimes systems and government delays people to get where they want to. And it's not that people are sitting and folding their arms and saying, yeah, we are waiting for government. People are stepping up. People are trying small things. Today we had an event in Indonesia where we hosted more than 300 community leaders from different parts of the region D and region in Soweto as well. And those were community leaders who came to be with us and understand where the Union of Hunger is going. It's people who don't even have funding, who are taking from the little they don't even have to buy meal and buy beans to put something for young kids to eat in their communities. So you can't say those people are given a fair chance and are not doing what they are supposed to. The reality is that everything that seems to be in paper or policy does not connect to what's happening on the ground. Our government is on the other side, communities are on the other side. We don't have a certain vision that guides us all together to say we are living towards something, one goal. Everyone is waking up and doing what they want. But now we are saying hunger is a problem. We want to continue to encourage community leaders. That woman who is a single parent but still has strength to run a soup kitchen in their community, we want to encourage them to be able to go forward. But how do we expect people to fight for that fair chance if they are hungry? They're almost disabled. You can't do anything when you're hungry. So that's the angle that we are trying as the Union of Against Hunger for people to see and understand, so that we can show solidarity to everyone who's experiencing this thing.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And you touched on malnutrition. Let's talk about the immediate and long-term effects of malnutrition on South African children.
I'm not too much of an expert on that, but the little that I know is that, children in their first 1,000 years, it's very crucial for them to eat, to eat nutritious food. And also, that also includes breastfeeding. We understand the poverty line as well, the income I was talking about. It's very small. The parents are single parents. They earn 370 now or 350. The child is earning 500 and something. Yesterday we had an engagement in Vosloorus, and we were told that milk formula is 400 and something. So already that has taken away any little thing that is nutritious that you can buy from your shop or whatever. So what we understand is that it's difficult for women living in this state to be able to provide necessary nutritious food for their children. And the first 1,000 years are crucial, because that's where the brain develops, that's where a lot of things in the body of a child develops that can be able to secure them a better future. And we have been taught around the issue of malnutrition is that it even goes beyond that. They are 5 years old, they are 7 years, they are 16 years old, they are 15. They can't even decide or choose to do the subjects they want to do, because their brain functionality is not strong as a child who managed to get nutritious food from the first 1,000 days. So there will be efforts where we go back to communities to speak to pregnant women who are still having infants, to help teach them about the importance of feeding children. And because, yes, as we are also advocating for 3 meals a day, we also need to advocate for these meals to be nutritious. Because some people might see this in a way that we want them to eat some fried chicken and chips, and that's not what we mean. We say, let's eat 3 meals a day, but they must be nutritious, so that we cannot, because at the state we can't afford to be a sick nation. Because as the way things are going, we are going to be a sick nation, and we can't afford, and we won't be able to reach our dreams if we are a sick nation.
This is such a beautiful conversation. I wish we had more time. But before I let you go, please tell us what role can community-led initiatives such as urban farming play in reducing reliance on the commercial food system?
That's very crucial, and I think that's something that we are also advocating for people to start their food gardens, background gardens. We had an engagement about that today, where people are saying, we are willing, but we don't have enough space, we don't have enough land. So as we move forward as the Union Against Hunger, we're going to be having a lot of conversations in communities where we kind of do a diagnosis of what this community needs, so that it can speak to all the things that we want to achieve by 2030. And part of those is to see what open spaces we can have, and go engage our councillors to provide those spaces for our communities to start planting their own fruits and vegetables and fruits. So I think it is very, very crucial, because sometimes I think it's way healthier as well to eat your potatoes from your backyard and worry about just buying maize meal and meat or whatever little thing that you need. But the basics, really, we can really benefit from planting those ourselves.
Thank you so much, Esther, for joining us and just for giving us insight on the importance of commemorating such a day, which is, what do you call this? I lost my train of thought.
World
Hunger Day. Because I've got so many questions that I wanted to ask you. This is a very beautiful conversation, but unfortunately we have run out of time. We hope to maybe host you some other day so that you can give us more insight on the great work that you're doing. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Viewers at home, this was an amazing conversation in discussing the importance of commemorating days like World Hunger Day, but also, the effects that it's having on our women and our children in this country, and just highlighting the importance of how severe and how urgent this matter is, in our country. But without wasting any time, let's go to a quick ad break. We still have more for you, so stay tuned.